In the rugged land of 15th century Moldova, a young man named Ștefan stood at the crossroads of destiny. Born into a noble family but not destined for power from birth, his early life was far from easy. The political landscape of Moldova was treacherous, marked by internal strife, foreign threats, and rival factions vying for the throne. Moldova was a small kingdom surrounded by powerful enemies, including the Ottoman Empire, Hungary, and Poland, each hungry for control. As a young man, Ștefan witnessed his father, Bogdan II, a ruler of Moldova, betrayed and killed by rivals. Stripped of his home and forced into exile, Ștefan's world seemed to collapse. He could have given up. Many would have in the face of such loss. Yet in that moment of despair, a fire sparked inside him. He vowed that he would one day reclaim his father's throne, not for vengeance, but for the preservation of Moldova and its people. The path of persistence. In exile, Ștefan had nothing but his wits, determination, and a handful of loyal supporters. The odds were stacked against him, but he refused to give in to fear or doubt. Instead, he traveled to Transylvania, seeking the help of his father's old ally, John Hunyadi, and the Hungarian court. Many saw him as a young, displaced noble with no real chance of success. Yet Ștefan's resolve was unshakable. He learned from his setbacks, always planning for the day he would return. In 1457, after years of struggle, opportunity knocked. With the support of a small army and strategic alliances, Ștefan crossed into Moldova. In a decisive battle on the Dumbrava-Rozi plain, Ștefan defeated his uncle, the usurper Petru Aron, and claimed the throne. This victory was not just the result of military might, it was the culmination of his unyielding perseverance. He had returned home not as the defeated son of a slain ruler, but as a voivode determined to forge a future for his people. A leader for the people. Once in power, Ștefan faced even greater challenges. Moldova was a fragile state, vulnerable to invasion from all sides. The powerful Ottoman Empire threatened to swallow the small principality whole, while Hungary and Poland sought to use it as a buffer zone. But Ștefan did not falter. He knew that survival would not come from sheer force, but from careful strategy, persistence, and the loyalty of his people. Instead of surrendering to the pressures of his larger neighbors, Ștefan chose to fight for Moldova's independence. He built strong fortresses, trained his army relentlessly, and became a master of guerrilla warfare. His brilliant tactics allowed him to win battles even when heavily outnumbered, as seen in his famous victory at the Battle of Vaslui in 1475, where he defeated the mighty Ottoman army. European leaders hailed him as a defender of Christian Europe, and Pope Sixtus IV called him the athlete of Christ. But Ștefan's victories were not only on the battlefield. He ruled with fairness, addressing the concerns of the common people and establishing a sense of justice and order in his realm. He knew that the strength of a ruler lay in the trust and respect of his people. He was not distant or aloof, but walked among them, listened to their needs, and protected their homes from foreign invaders. Never giving up. Ștefan faced defeat many times. The Ottomans, Hungarians, and Poles were relentless, and there were moments when it seemed like Moldova could not withstand the onslaught. Yet Ștefan never gave up. When he lost, he regrouped. When his enemies were too powerful, he made tactical retreats only to return stronger and more determined. Each setback became a lesson, each challenge an opportunity to adapt and grow. Through sheer will and perseverance, Ștefan not only kept Moldova independent, but made it a symbol of resistance against overwhelming odds. By the end of his reign, Moldova had become a beacon of hope in a region dominated by empires. His legacy was not only one of military victories, but of resilience, courage, and faith in the impossible. The legacy of a simple man. Ștefan cel Mare, once a young noble, displaced and nearly forgotten, had transformed into one of the greatest leaders in Eastern European history. His success was not because he was destined for greatness, but because he chose to never give up. He faced betrayal, exile, overwhelming enemies, and impossible odds, but each time he rose stronger, driven by a deep sense of duty to his people and his land. His story is a reminder that greatness does not come from birthright or privilege. It comes from persistence, vision, and a refusal to accept defeat. Ștefan's legacy lives on today. not only in Moldova and Romania, but across the world, as an example of what can be achieved when a person refuses to bow to circumstance and instead chooses to fight for a better future. In the end, Ștefan cel Mare's reign was not just about his victories. It was about his unbreakable spirit. He showed that even a man with humble beginnings facing the greatest of challenges can rise to change the course of history if he never stops pushing forward. The rise of Ștefan cel Mare, from exile to legend. Ștefan cel Mare, the voivoda of Moldova from 1457 to 1504, is remembered not only for his military brilliance, but also for his ability to transform a vulnerable small principality into a secure and respected kingdom in Eastern Europe. Through unrelenting perseverance, shrewd diplomacy, and military genius, Ștefan shaped Moldova into a fortress of independence against seemingly impossible odds. He achieved what many thought impossible, becoming a symbol of hope, resilience, and strength for future generations. Battles and military brilliance. Over the course of his 47-year reign, Ștefan cel Mare fought in a remarkable 36 battles, winning 34 of them, a testament to his incredible strategic mind and leadership abilities. He was not a king commanding vast armies or a nation of immense resources. Instead, he led a small principality caught between three powerful forces, the Ottoman Empire, the Kingdom of Hungary, and the Kingdom of Poland. Yet through his clever tactics and understanding of Moldova's terrain, he turned his small country into an unconquerable stronghold. Some of his most significant military achievements include the Battle of Dolești in 1457. This battle was one of Ștefan's first major military successes, shortly after claiming the Moldovan throne. Facing his uncle Petru Aron, who had usurped the throne and was responsible for his father's death, Ștefan launched a daring attack. Despite being outnumbered, he decisively defeated Aron's forces, marking the start of his legendary reign. Then there was the Battle of Baia in 1467. In 1467, the Hungarian king Matthias Corvinus launched an invasion to subdue Moldova. Ștefan, fully aware that he could not confront the larger Hungarian army head-on, lured them deep into Moldovan territory. At Baia, under the cover of night, Ștefan unleashed a surprise attack, using the town's narrow streets to trap the Hungarian forces. The result was a decisive Moldovan victory, forcing King Corvinus to retreat. Next, the Battle of Vaslui in 1475, the most famous battle of Ștefan's career. The Battle of Vaslui took place in January 1475. Facing an Ottoman army of around 100,000 men led by Hadim Suleiman Pasha, Ștefan commanded an army of just 40,000, made up of Moldovans, Poles, and some Hungarians. Using the foggy weather and narrow passes of the region to his advantage, Ștefan launched a surprise attack that disoriented the Ottoman forces. His forces emerged victorious, routing the Ottomans and causing one of their most humiliating defeats. This battle cemented Ștefan's reputation as one of Europe's most brilliant military leaders. Then came the Battle of Valea Alba in 1476. Just 1 year after his great victory at Vaslui, Ștefan faced another Ottoman invasion led by Sultan Mehmed II himself. Although Ștefan's forces were defeated at the Battle of Valea Alba, he displayed remarkable resilience. Instead of surrendering, he withdrew into the Carpathian Mountains, using scorched earth tactics to starve the advancing Ottoman army. He fortified his remaining forces, and through guerrilla warfare, ambushes, and a harsh winter, Mehmed II was forced to withdraw, unable to capture Moldova. Finally, the siege of Chilia in 1462 and 1465. Ștefan recognized the strategic importance of the Chilia fortress, situated on the Black Sea coast. In 1462, he launched a failed attempt to capture it from the Hungarian forces. However, in 1465, he returned with a stronger force, using artillery and a well-planned siege to take Chilia, ensuring Moldova's access to the Black Sea, a significant win for the small principality. Strategic genius. Ștefan's military success was not due to sheer force, but to his brilliant strategic mind. He often faced enemies much larger and better equipped than his own forces. To compensate, Ștefan used a range of tactics that showcased his intellect. Terrain advantage. Ștefan was a master of using Moldova's terrain to his advantage. He fought battles in regions where the landscape, forests, mountains, and rivers could aid his smaller army. By choosing narrow passes, muddy roads, or dense forests, Ștefan neutralized the numerical superiority of his enemies, guerrilla warfare and scorched earth. After his defeats, instead of retreating in fear, Ștefan employed scorched earth tactics, burning crops and resources so that advancing enemy armies could not survive. This forced invaders like the Ottomans and Hungarians to retreat, unable to sustain themselves in hostile, barren territory. Diplomacy as a weapon. While Ștefan fought bravely on the battlefield, he also understood the importance of diplomacy. He formed alliances with powerful neighbors, including the Kingdom of Poland and Hungary when it suited him. This kept Moldova from being isolated, providing support when needed. For example, after his victory at Vaslui, he was recognized by Pope Sixtus IV, who praised him as a defender of Christianity. A symbol of Moldovan security. By the end of his reign, Ștefan had not only secured Moldova's independence, but had also established it as a fortress of stability in a tumultuous region. His constant vigilance and willingness to fight back against the greatest powers of the time made Moldova respected and feared. Even after defeats, he refused to surrender, showing his people that resilience and courage could overcome even the mightiest enemies. Ștefan transformed Moldova from a small, vulnerable state into a strong, independent nation that withstood the test of time. He built and fortified numerous churches, monasteries, and castles, many of which still stand today as a testament to his legacy. Among these, the Putna Monastery became his burial place, symbolizing his eternal connection to his homeland. The legacy of a legend. Ștefan cel Mare's remarkable life proves that greatness is not bestowed at birth, but earned through hard work, persistence, and vision. Despite facing overwhelming odds, whether from the Ottoman Empire, the Kingdom of Hungary, or internal strife, Ștefan never gave up. His 34 victories out of 36 battles show the brilliance of a man who refused to accept defeat. He is remembered as a legend of the past, not just for his military accomplishments, but for the security, stability, and pride he brought to Moldova. Today, Moldovans and Romanians alike honor him as a national hero, a symbol of resistance and a protector of their land and culture. Statues of Ștefan stand proudly in cities, and his name is synonymous with leadership and perseverance. Through determination and a never-give-up attitude, Ștefan cel Mare rose from a man in exile to one of the greatest rulers in Eastern Europe. He became Moldova's protector and champion, teaching future generations that even the smallest of nations can triumph with courage, wisdom, and an unbreakable spirit. Ștefan cel Mare's life and leadership provide several timeless lessons that can inspire and help us become better individuals in our personal and professional lives. Here are key takeaways from his extraordinary journey. Resilience in the face of adversity. Ștefan's life was filled with hardships, from losing his father to exile to facing powerful enemies like the Ottoman Empire. Despite numerous setbacks, including defeats in battle, he never gave up. His persistence and resilience are a reminder that failure is not final unless you allow it to be. Lesson: when life throws challenges at us, resilience is key. Don't allow temporary setbacks to define you. Bounce back, learn from your failures, and keep moving forward. Strategic thinking. Ștefan was a master strategist, using terrain, guerrilla tactics, diplomacy, and alliances to win battles and secure Moldova's independence. He never rushed into decisions, instead planning carefully to turn the odds in his favor. Lesson: success is not just about working hard, but working smart. Take the time to strategize, think through your challenges, and find creative solutions, especially when resources are limited. Adaptability and flexibility. Although Ștefan won 34 of his 36 battles, when he did face defeat, he didn't crumble. Instead, he adapted his tactics and used scorched earth strategies, or retreated to fight another day. He understood that there's more than one way to win a war. Lesson: adaptability is crucial in a fast-changing world. Be willing to pivot and adjust your approach when circumstances change. Flexibility can turn potential losses into future victories. Courage to stand up for what is right. Stefan didn't bow to pressure from powerful empires like the Ottomans, Hungarians, or Poles. He defended Moldova's independence fiercely and protected his people's rights. His unwavering courage against much larger enemies earned him respect and admiration. Lesson: have the courage to stand up for what you believe in, even when the odds are against you. Defending your principles, values, or goals may not be easy, but it's necessary for long-term respect and success. Leadership by example. Stefan led his army from the front, earning the loyalty of his soldiers and people. He understood that to inspire others, a leader must demonstrate the same discipline, bravery, and sacrifice they expect from others. Lesson: lead by example. Whether in your personal or professional life, showing integrity and commitment will inspire others to follow and support you. The importance of strong alliances. Stefan knew that Moldova could not stand alone in its battles, so he built strategic alliances with neighboring states and even secured support from the Pope. His diplomacy was as powerful as his military prowess, helping Moldova survive in a complex geopolitical environment. Lesson: building strong relationships and networks is essential. In life and business, alliances and partnerships can provide the support and resources you need to overcome challenges and achieve your goals. Focus on long-term legacy. Stefan was not just focused on winning battles. He cared deeply about his people's future and his country's legacy. He invested in infrastructure, building churches, monasteries, and fortresses that continue to stand as symbols of Moldova's identity and resilience. Lesson: think beyond short-term gains and focus on leaving a lasting positive impact. What you build today, whether it's in your career, community, or personal life, should benefit future generations. Faith and integrity. Stefan's faith played an important role in his life and decision-making. He was known as a deeply religious leader, and this moral foundation guided his actions. His integrity earned him the loyalty of his people and the title of Athlete of Christ from the Pope. Lesson: having a strong moral foundation and acting with integrity will guide you through difficult decisions. Stay true to your core values and let them shape your actions and relationships. Value of education and learning. Stefan was not just a warrior. He was a thinker who learned from his mistakes and constantly improved. He studied the weaknesses of his enemies, learned from other rulers, and applied his knowledge to both war and governance. Lesson: never stop learning. Personal growth requires continuous education, whether through formal learning, life experiences, or from others. Apply these lessons to improve and excel in whatever you do. Community and compassion. Stefan was beloved not only because he was a strong leader, but because he genuinely cared for his people. He worked to protect the livelihoods of Moldovans, built churches and fortresses for their safety, and made decisions that would benefit the community as a whole. Lesson: leadership and success are about more than individual achievement. They are about serving others. Focus on how your actions can improve the lives of those around you, whether in your family, community, or workplace. Conclusion: never give up. Ștefan cel Mare's life is a powerful reminder that greatness comes not from privilege or power, but from persistence, courage, and integrity. Whether you're facing personal struggles, trying to achieve professional success, or simply looking to improve yourself, the lessons from his life offer a roadmap. Resilience in the face of challenges, strategic thinking and adaptability, courage to stand for what's right, building relationships and focusing on the long term. If you apply these lessons, you can rise from any difficulty just like Stefan did and make a lasting impact on the world around you.